What's up, B3 students, and welcome back to another episode of the B3 Students podcast. Pastor Andrew with you, Dylan with you. Not a surprise because, he brought the word this past week. And we want to just take a few minutes, and I don't even know what number of podcasts we're on, by the way. Usually we say the number, but we're just going to roll with it because I can't remember off the top of my head.
We're losing count.
We're losing count at this point. There's been so many, but hey, we appreciate you guys checking it out. We want to take a few minutes and just really talk to Dylan and ask him why he was looking to do this message, what led him to do this message, that is, and just kind of hear his heart behind what he talked about. So those of you that were there in the room, which many of you were, we set record attendance for COVID this past week as far as how many students were there, so that was awesome. I don't know if that means that I need to speak less and Dylan needs to speak more, but we'll figure that out as we go. All right, so actually, I don't know. You think you're better than me?
No.
No, I'm kidding. All right, so we're both terrible, so we embrace it. Now, except for Dylan, he's better. So Dylan, talk to me a little bit about really just tell them a little bit about it. Those who may not have been there, of course it's on YouTube. They can go see it. They can click literally from this video and go see it. I may even link it to this video so they can see it. But tell them a little bit about the title, kind of what your purpose behind it was, what God was really leading you to talk about this particular message of David and Goliath, but with a little hot sauce on it.
Well, the title of it was just "How did I get here?" And that's what I've thought a lot in life. Like, how did I get in this situation? How did I end up facing this or in this situation? And that's how David thought when he was facing Goliath. He wasn't expecting to face a 9-foot giant. He was just expected to go see his brothers and go do what his dad told him to do and go check up on them and go give them food. And he wasn't expecting Goliath, just like how sometimes in life we don't expect some battles to struggle with or to face. And I faced quite a few battles in life and quite a few unexpected battles, like I did after I preached.
Like this week.
Like I did after I preached, something happened.
Literally this week.
So I definitely lived the message, and I'm living the message as I'm doing this.
Yeah. So there was one thing that you said in the message, though, that really impacted me so much to the point where I went back up there after you got done and said what it was. But if you guys remember, Dylan made a comment, and it was kind of one of those things where I think it was better than he thought it was. You know what I'm saying? But it was one of those things where you said this thing that sometimes when we face battles and we face trials, we have to sometimes look backwards in order to move forward.
Yeah. So
talk to me a little bit about that. What do you mean by that? Like, what does that look like really for you, and kind of why was that statement, which I think was probably something that, because I know how it goes when we prepare messages, we write these things out and we're just like, all right, that sounds good, but what led you to really that thought process?
Well, to just look back and remember the Lord's faithfulness and how good He's been to us. Not necessarily like live in the past, but just look back on some good moments that the Lord has came through for you. And David did this. In verse 37, he remembered when the Lord rescued him from a lion and a bear before. So when he seen Goliath, he was like, he's going to do it again. He'll rescue me again. So just look back and remember His love, His faithfulness, and how He's came through before for you, and how He will do it again and whatever shows up.
And that's so good, because I think in the heat of the moments of our life and the battles that we face, a lot of times we often forget God's faithfulness. Like, where we may look and we have gone through a past experience, and we've seen where He's led us out of that. Because I'll often tell you guys, I'll say it again, we're either about to go into a battle or a trial or a struggle, or we're going to be in one, or we're just coming out of one. And I always tell people, when you just come out of something and you've seen God really do a work to help either protect you or lead you to a new thought process, or whatever that battle, whatever that trial is, there's always something we can take away from that. And I think one of the main thing is remember that God was with you then, and He's with you now in whatever it is that you face. And I get that's a wide range of things, right? That could be any battle, any struggle. He's there, He's faithful. It's like when we struggle with certain sins and things in our life, we know that God always provides a way out of that according to what we read in His Word. And so I think that was just really, really critical. So tell me, how have you, because I know this week has been a week of battles. So in the heat of that, of course, I'm not going to ask I will ask how you're doing with that, because we've talked about that a little bit already. But like, as you're going through various battles, and maybe you can let them know what some of those battles might be, it's up to you. But how are you reminded about God's faithfulness in that to give you the encouragement to continue to push through and not just give up? Because I think students, particularly adults, all believers in Christ, particularly here in America, when the struggle gets real, a lot of times we want to abandon the faith, or we want to. It's like, man, the ship is sinking, so we got to go. Like, but how do you keep yourself? Obviously through prayer and leaning on God, but what helps you in addition to those things to really stay focused on Him through those difficult times?
Well, it's important to remember it's important to know what you can do. You can pray in the middle of a battle. You can worship in the middle of a battle. You can read the Word in the middle of a battle. You can be in fellowship and be in community and go to church in the middle of a battle. And for those of y'all who don't know, one of the battles that I've been facing recently is my car broke down in the middle of the road. So I was stuck, and it was a disaster, and I was scared. And then when I left on Sunday night after preaching, my car did it again, and I was stuck. And so it's been a wild week. And I've been through worse. I mean, that's not,
Sure,
it's a battle, but we've been through worse. I've been in seasons of just depression and seasons like that, which is a little bit more intense. And so when I look back on that, and I look back on this battle, it's like, it's nothing. I've been through worse. And so just to look back and just remember that God never changes. That He's always the same, and the same God who was with us in one hard season will be with us in the next hard season, and even in a good season. When He's with us in a good season, He's with us in the next good season. He's always there.
Well, I mean, I think that's so critical too. God never changes, guys. That's one of the attributes of God, the character of God. He's the same then. He's the same in the past, same in the future. He's the same. And one of the things that you brought out, and I think this is so critical, and we'll kind of wrap it up on this because they listened to us long enough, right? So we'll cut them some slack this week. We'll make it a little shorter. But one of the things that we know from the story of David and Goliath is a lot of people tend to look at that story and they say, we identify ourselves with David, and therefore it's how we overcome the battles. But we know that that's not what it's about. It's the story for us as believers in Christ. It's about how through the power of Christ, through Jesus is the one who gives us the strength to therefore overcome the battles that we face. And I think that's so critical to understand, is that when we come to faith in Him, we come to faith in Christ, we know that we have the same strength, the same power that Jesus had. It's literally within us. We may not necessarily believe that 100% all the time, but it's true. And so one of the things that we need to understand is that it's not on us to overcome the trials and things in our life. We overcome those because of what Christ has already overcome for us. Like, we can overcome the battles, yes, but it's always because Christ has overcome those battles. I mean, would you agree with that? I mean,
totally.
I'm just saying. I mean, that's what it's saying on me. And you brought that out Sunday.
Yeah, it's like what you said a couple weeks ago in your message. You said that the victory's already been won.
Yeah. We fight our battles not for victory, but from victory. And I didn't come up with that. David Platt came up with that. But it's such a good line.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
He may have got that from somebody else, but it's true. Like, the victory's already been won. And a lot of times I think when it comes to facing battles in this life, we tend to think that we have to overcome this in victory. Well, no, victory's already been done. Jesus took care of that when He died on the cross. 3 days later, He rose up out the grave. And I mean, that was the victory. And the ultimate victory is going to come full circle, as we know, as we've been talking about in Revelation for a while, that He's going to come back and we're going to be with Him in eternity. And so we just understand, guys, really I think the main point, and then I'll let Dylan kind of give some final thoughts here, but the main point is just to understand that you're not alone. You're never alone. When life gets messy, that's a lot of times, and I think in most cases, if not every case, that's where we can really sit back and watch Jesus do a work and be just blown away at how great our God is. Not just because, and that doesn't mean that if you face something, I want to be clear on this, that does not mean that when you face a battle or you face a trial in your life, that the outcome is going to be the way you want it to be. Yeah. But it's always going to be the way that God intended it to be. And I think that's important. So.
Yeah, I mean, just with every battle that comes, just make sure you're focused on Jesus and make sure that you don't try to live life alone, because when you do that, you're living at a pretty dangerous place. So just make sure you're doing what you can do, pray, worship, and with every battle, we know the end, we know how the story ends. Jesus wins, and
let God be God. don't let us try to step into that place. It's only his place. So remember, guys, Jesus is with us always. And so whatever you're facing, whatever you're battling, he's with you. He's guiding you. It may not end up the way that you want it to be, but God is always working. Even when we think things are out of control, he's moving it, and it's all going to be to glorify him. And so understand that. And I think one of the questions we can ask when we're in the battle, when we're in the trial, when we're in a struggle, when we're facing some things, particularly things that are uncertain, what can we learn from that to grow closer to him? I think that's always a good thing too. So I think we'll leave it there. I think we've done it. We have made it. We have made it through, is what we're saying. But guys, we thank y'all for watching. Like it, subscribe it, comment on it. Tell us, is it good? Is it bad? Do we need to make it better? We do this for you. So we love y'all, and we will see y'all next time. Again, Pastor Andrew, Dylan, we're out. See y'all next time.